much differently than we do today, that's for sure.
That's true, and that's actually been done to us. That's been done to us by the television, the movie theaters. How you gonna get them back on the farm after they've seen L.A.? And I, in looking for answers after reporting on this New World Order crap for so many years, I said, well, if we could generate our own power, go out to the country, move on a farm, it's got a well, it's been there for 200 years, 100 years. Go out to the farm, put up solar, put up wind, generate our own power, and grow our own food. We really wouldn't need the banksters or the government for much of nothing. And if we had veterans there to protect us, protect the ranch, protect the farms, which is the really general theme that I had when I set up this meeting in 11/11. We're doing it at the arena in Bisbee, Arizona, for Sheriff Deaver and for the veterans. But if we did that on our farms and ranches right now, General McCaffrey says we are in a war situation in the counties, in the border counties here. And the BATF is arming the drug dealers down there. So to me, that's an answer. That's the way we take back, because if we based our monetary system not on the price of gold that's decided by a Rothschild raising a flag on a table in the city of London, if we go back to basing our capital, our money, on labor, which is really what it's all based upon, the labor of the people. But couldn't we make a difference in that way, if not across the world, but county by county, town by town, farm by farm, ranch by ranch? Couldn't we turn this around, get back to where we were before the Great Depression, when 40% of the American people lived and worked on farms, ranches? How about it, Bob? Is that an answer?
It is, but you're still going to take the system down to do it. They're not going to allow you to do that. 70% of what's produced on farms today is from corporate farms.
Yes,
and they get subsidies.
Ninth plank of the Communist Manifesto. Ninth plank on the Communist Manifesto, sir. Corporate farms.
And so you've got to bring us back to the Constitution. And the way you do that is trying to go through the legislature to do it. And when that is no longer open to us, which it may be not open to us after a year from now, then people got to really think in terms of changing the government by other means. And it's going to happen, one way or the other. And if they're smart, they'll try to back off on what they've done, allow somebody like Paul to get elected, and live with it, and try another day. So we're going to see what's going to happen. I mean, Ron Paul, in every debate, has been extremely successful. They've done everything that they can to try to keep his commentary off of the air, and we can understand why they do that or did that. And they also know that if he's not nominated in the Republican Party, he just go to the Libertarian Party, which is registered in every state, and run there. And so we get a shot at it. I only go beyond that because I think people have to understand what the consequences will be if we don't win, by putting him and others like him in office. So you know what your mission is. The problems we've got today were because you weren't paying attention, and you were too busy with life. And most people don't care today, even though they understand. And it's okay. The world has always been that way. Only is 15%. And once we have that, we can make changes.
It's never been easy
And
to
they
be
know
free. It's never been easy to be free, and you know, they always they turned a lot of us into criminals over the world. I think Ayn Rand was kind of right about that. The government has no control over honest citizens, so they got to make criminals out of us. And so they passed laws against victimless crimes. I find
You're
that
absolutely correct.
you know, to me, and I wrote about this.
It's a classic syndrome that's used over and over again. Make everything that the public does illegal.
I've told people that the war on drugs, you know, they try to make it, oh, Clay's a druggie, Clay does it, Clay does it. Yeah, I smoked pot. Yeah, sure did. And you know, it did have an effect on me. I'm too healthy to qualify for medical marijuana. that just cracks me up. But you know, they used that. I said in the 60s, you know, we were sitting around smoking pot, and we stopped the war because we were in crowds talking to each other the way you and I are talking to each other right now. And we were right. We had our music. We had Steppenwolf. We had Country Joe and the Fish on the radios. They thought on one hand, I think they thought that was destabilizing, turning us against our troops. You know, and that's probably why they let us get away with it. But you know, it didn't quite work out that way. We started underground newspapers. We talked about the situation, and when the troops came back, you know, we smoked a joint with them, you know, no problem. So it didn't work out quite like they expected. But you still got the people that migrated over to the colleges, like the Dorns and the other guy that probably ghost wrote Obama's book.
Yeah.
Students of Democratic Society.
Yeah.
And, you know, I've tried to tell people, man, if you're going to a meeting here and you got somebody yelling about blowing something up, you know, that's the instigators, that's the provocateurs, that's the FBI, that's the CIA, that's the Mossad, that's the operative coming in to try to get you to do something illegal.
And there'll always be the trying to do that. And that's what people have to watch out for. We don't know very often have to watch out for because they don't listen to people like us who have been through this. I mean, you and I were on opposite sides. And here we are joined together because we realize that in order to save the country, we have to do that.
And that's what I'm trying to get and make people understand. You don't need to be a Republican, you don't need to be a Democrat, you don't need to be a liberal, you don't need to be a conservative. We're talking about free Americans here. Now, if we can put aside our differences, I don't like him, he rides a motorcycle. If we can put aside our differences like that for a few moments and just ask ourselves, is this good for me and my family? Is this good for our country? We'd be putting a lot more people in jail, and I think we've been putting the wrong people in jail. You know, if you can come up to somebody and go, what's that? Is that a joint I see in your pocket? Oh boy, you're going to go to jail for that. You're going to be in the system for that. You're going to pay a fine for that. That's a police state. That's a police state, whether you smoke or not. You know, because they could come up to you and say, is that milk? Did I just see a guy deliver fresh milk to you? Where'd that milk come from? It's not pasteurized. Oh, we better go raid a farm for that over there in the next state. That's happened, Bob. Where's the difference lie? I don't drink raw milk, so it should be illegal for you.
My children were brought up on raw milk, and one of them had to use goat milk, unpasteurized, and they're pretty healthy human beings. So It's just a way to control people, throw business to the large corporations. That's what it's about. And you get the same thing with the FDA and vitamins, minerals, herbs, hormones. And they're relentless because they want the drug industry to take it over and jack up the price 3 or 4 times than it is already. That's what it's all about.
They don't make much money off of me. If you're healthy, they don't make any money off of you. The whole system is set up both war and the medical. Matter of fact, I just pulled up something on that. If you hadn't called in, I would have been talking about that. Let me see, where is that? The war and disease. War and disease. Who profits off of war and disease? You know, it's all the big corporations.
And particularly the pharmaceutical manufacturers.
You know, what they are doing, and by the way, folks, vaccines rake in $40 billion per year for big pharma. Cancer treatments rake in almost $1 trillion per year for a medical industrial complex we call healthcare. The war on cancer is a kindred corporatocracy, many of the same corporate stockholders as the endless war on terror. I've referred to the war on terror, Bob, as a war against anybody, anywhere in the world that doesn't want to go along with one world government. And these pharmaceutical industries, just like Jefferson warned us, are the corporations that have sprung up around the banks. They got 200,000% profit on the drugs that they make, and the same people are controlling the illegal drugs and keeping them illegal from us here, so the CIA can fly them up, and so the BATF can give the drug dealers guns to defend themselves from local police. And I want to support the local police. I want to support the sheriff department. I want to support these people that are being shot at by the drug runners that they're sending over here. Yeah, open up if you really want to do it, open up the borders, let the Mexicans come up to the border, set up a little table along the borderline, and we'll sell them stuff. They can sell us whatever they want. To me, that's just maybe that's a different way of looking at it. Maybe I'm looking at it from the wrong side. You were on the other side. It was your kind of people that put me in jail for potential of 99 years in Texas when pot was a life sentence, and I still smoked it, but.
Well, I think people see circumstances where things like that happen as part of something else, and the mindset at the time was anybody who was using drugs of any kind was bad or whatever. They should be in jail, and that was an attitude. There's no question. I will say that we learned a lot of lessons from what went on during that period, and I think the people who now are in their 60s who are involved in that stop and think. I think they can get a lot of good out of their experiences, and they know the things to tell people not to do. And so I think it was a good testing period for everybody, but it didn't stop, or it slowed down the juggernaut of the Illuminati, but it didn't stop it. But that's okay. Their plan to take over in 1970 was blown asunder, and they're still trying to take over, and they're having a hard time doing it. It's a serious problem. And that's not my thinking and feeling on it. It's what the reality is, because they talk about it in speeches. So we know we're right, because they're telling us we're right. And all these programs that I go on and you go on, they inform people, they educate people as to what's really going on out there, what the answers are. And, of course, they don't like that very much. We're considered terrorists. And so we got to keep doing what we're doing to try to be able to affect change within the Constitution, within the laws of the country. And hopefully that will happen. But after that, if it doesn't happen and they think they're going to suppress us, they're mistaken.
I've been standing up to them for a long time. I have no intentions of quitting. You know, the only way you really lose in life is if you quit. And you know, I
think you're right about that. And I think we're a little bit over time.
Yeah, we are, but I got a late start, so I'm still, it's still being recorded, and I appreciate you hanging in with me. I'm sorry, again, of course, you know, not, with you, there's no apologies necessary. You understand what we're doing, and what's coming against us. But, I think we are doing exactly, after I saw what happened at Waco, which was perpetrated by the same BATF that's sending the guns to the drug dealers. I was so disgusted by the way the media tried to demonize 17 little children and David Koresh as a child molester that I started the Free American magazine. And I think that's what we needed to do. I think that's what we had to do. We've got to take the media is the biggest problem that we've got right now, because they're the ones that are selling us all the drugs. They got it plastered on television. You know, they're and you know, Thomas Jefferson told us that I believe that the banking institutions are more dangerous to our liberties than standing armies. And if you don't know that you're a slave and are enslaved, being enslaved, then how are you going to fight it? That's the importance of what you're doing, Bob Chapman, and I really appreciate it. And
well, I appreciate all the people who listen.
I think I think I'm just about running out of time here. So God bless you, Bob Chapman. Thank you very, very much for being on with me. And I'll see you.
Well,
I'll see you the first first Friday of every month.
You got it.
All right, and
I'll be here.
All right, let's give out your contact information. Well, it's all up on my website. It's linked on freeamerican.com.
Yeah.
Just go right up there and click on it, and hopefully I'll get the whole computer working today. God bless you, Bob. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you.